My name's Todd and I love hummus. And today I'm going to show you how to make it. Here are all our ingredients. Let me introduce them to you. We have dried chickpeas, baking soda, tahina paste, salt, lemon, garlic, olive oil, sumac, paprika, and parsley. This is all you're gonna need for ingredients. Making hummus is not hard. It doesn't require any special techniques. It does take some time and some attention to detail, but it's very easy to make. So let's get started. So the first key difference between making really good hummus and what you might be familiar with is that instead of taking chickpeas out of a can, you have to start with dry chickpeas. So I like to use this bag. The recipe calls for 2.5 cups. This is a teeny bit under that, but it really doesn't matter, and then you don't have to measure. So you cut this, put it in a bowl, then add 5 cups of water, and a little under between a half and a full tablespoon of baking soda. Put it in, mix it up a little bit, and then this is gonna wait overnight. Just put it aside. You can refrigerate it if you like, but you can also just leave it at room temperature at least 12 hours. Hi, it's 12 hours later, and this dried chickpea has absorbed the water, and now, look at that, a big, ready to be boiled chickpea. Our next step is to take all these chickpeas, drain them, and rinse them, looking for any strange discolored chickpeas that you don't want in the mix. I rarely find any, but you never know. Once they're rinsed and drained and strained, put them into the water. Now, I've started some water already, but I'm gonna need a little bit more. You want the water level to be about 2 to 3 inches above the top of the chickpeas because they will continue to expand as you boil them. You're gonna add another half to full tablespoon of baking soda. Did I say powder? No, I said baking soda. You're gonna put it in, you're gonna mix it. The baking soda, as far as I understand, expedites all this so that you only need to boil and simmer for like an hour instead of 5 hours. Then I'm gonna cover things up and I'm gonna wait for this to boil with my eyes on it for reasons that we will come to understand soon. The reason you need to keep your eye on the water as it begins to boil is that all that baking soda is gonna come up. And so what you need to do is this. Take a little hand strainer device type thing and just kind of, whatever the verb is, take it off. I just put it in my sink. You're gonna wind up doing that a couple times. This is not an exact science. Get as much of it as you can. Skim it off. That was the verb we were looking for. I turn the heat down to a simmer, and I put my timer on for 25 minutes. While the chickpeas are cooking, we're gonna do some prep work in anticipation of blending the chickpeas later on. So the first part of that is to take some lemons and juice them. We're gonna put 4 tablespoons of lemon juice into the food processor, but you're gonna want additional lemon juice because each serving of hummus that you serve should have a tablespoon of lemon juice put on top of it. So overall, you're gonna probably want 10, 12 tablespoons worth of lemon juice available. How many lemons is that? It's really hard to say. It depends how juicy your lemons are. This is the juice of 1 lemon. To me, it looks like it's about 4 to 6 tablespoons. So 2 of these will be enough. 2 of the other things that we're gonna add in preparation for the food processor is a teaspoon and a half of salt, You can obviously add more or less depending on how salty you want your hummus to be. The other thing we're gonna add is garlic. Now, I'm gonna use raw garlic, fresh garlic. I think it packs a little more flavor, but if you don't have a lot of time, or if you don't like dealing with garlic, if you don't know about this, you should know about it in general. They sell it at Trader Joe's. It's frozen garlic, 1 clove at a time. I'm gonna use 4 cloves of fresh garlic. Interestingly, a lot of Israeli hummus recipes have no garlic, which I found outrageous. You can do as little as 2, you can do as many as 6. Again, as you get more familiar with making hummus, you can dress it up and dress it down however you like. This is all about the flavor that you prefer. The timer went off. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna take this, we're gonna open up our chickpea vault, and we're gonna take out 1 chickpea and see how done it is. What we're looking for is a chickpea that still holds its shape but is now soft. Think almost of a baked potato. That's where it is right now after 25 minutes. Your results may vary. So what I'm gonna do now, and this is for the garnish later on, I'm gonna take out a little bit less than a cup of chickpeas. I'm not even gonna measure it. I'm gonna put them in this bowl. I'm gonna put them aside, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna set my timer for another 20 minutes. Okay, it's so hot. Okay, tell me when. My fingers are burning.
Look, we pull one out.
Each chickpea has a little peel, a little skin on it, and this will fall off as they cook. Now, if you want, for the garnish, you can remove these one at a time. Don't do it right when you take it out because it's really, really hot. Know that this is a little time intensive and it's not entirely necessary. But if you're going for the full, beautiful bowl of hummus at the end, you can't take any shortcuts. Let's talk tahina. What is tahini? Tahina. It is the nectar of the sesame seed. So, interestingly, in Hebrew, sesame is sumsum, but tahina, which is just ground sesames, is called tahina. Why? Well, the verb litchon, same root, tet, chet, nun, means to grind in Hebrew. That's my guess of where this word comes from. Who knows? We're gonna put 2 cups of tahina into the hummus. The Hamilton Beach T1000. She might not look like much, but she's got it where it counts. We've been through a lot together. A lot of hummus. It's a half an hour later, and I checked my chickpeas. They're now really, really soft. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna move them just using the strainer. I'm gonna try and get most of this water off. If some of it gets in, it doesn't really matter because we're probably gonna add a little water later. And I'm just moving all these into the food processor. I'm gonna add the lemon juice, garlic, and salt. Then we're gonna blend for 3 minutes. The alchemy will begin as we turn chickpeas and a few of their closest friends into hummus. That was round 1 of our processing. We're gonna do a lot of processing, and it's part of the secret to making this super creamy with an amazing texture. The next thing we're gonna do, we have these 2 cups of the tahina. We're gonna pour in approximately half of that. Whoa. And then we're gonna turn on the food processor for another 2 minutes. All right. Obviously, in a moment, we're going to add the last bit of the tahina. But before we do that, we want to start getting a sense for the texture and the consistency, because we may want to also add water. This is a little bit on the thick side. And keep in mind as well that this will kind of firm up and get a little thicker as it sits. So in addition to this, I'm going to add a little bit of water as well. Now we are going to blend for 3 more minutes. All right, so we've finished blending the hummus. The consistency when you finish is going to be a little thinner than it will get the longer it sits. I recommend letting it sit for at least a half an hour before you serve it. The taste will somehow come together a little bit more. Some people even have it sit for much, much longer. I like the hummus warm, so I don't want to wait too long. So here's how you make a bowl of hummus. Take about 4 tablespoons of the hummus itself. You want to create a little moat in here. Take some of these guys. Put them in the middle. Isn't that lovely? Next, olive oil and lemon juice. Get really good olive oil. A lot of what you're going to taste now is the actual olive oil and lemon juice. There's going to be very, very pronounced flavors. Buy good olive oil. If you're in the Chicago area, Pita Inn Market has incredible Palestinian fair trade organic olive oil. It's crazy. I'd like to put in a tablespoon. I add a tablespoon of lemon juice. Sumac, a fascinating little spice. It's a little sour. It's delicious. Put some on there. Paprika. Put some on there. Last but not least, sprinkle on some parsley. Some people don't even like parsley. Some people just put a little bit of parsley on. I'm in a phase where I'm putting a lot of parsley on my hummus. I think it's pretty, I think it's healthy, and I think it tastes just fine. And there you have it. A bowl of hummus. Thanks for listening. Good luck with your hummus adventures. Eat some hummus. It'll make you happy. Bye-bye.